Well, good morning. Hello, Brew Crew. Whew. It's the day after Thanksgiving. I am recovering a little bit. I think I had more turkey this year than I think I've had in the past. I don't know about you, Shannon, but I'm still on my third very large cup of coffee today. So I don't know what that dictates.
No, I got my,
Holy moly.
homemade iced coffee. It's mostly ice.
Is that 128 ounces
I'm
or 64?
I'm brewing more coffee as we speak.
Oh, excellent. Wonderful. Well, welcome and good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining into another great episode of the Brew Activate. I'm Eric, call sign N1JUR, and I'm with
Shannon, KC1OHT or 2E0OHT.
Got to put that in a rhyme somehow. So it
I
flows a
tried to
little
shorten it. I got yelled at last time. It was too long.
That's all right. It's totally fine. We're all in the circle of trust around here. But with that, you are with your POTA guides, POTA mentors, and lovers of all things POTA. Today, good morning. We are here at Brew Activate, and we're going to be getting into some really good stuff today. This is our kind of like just following suit with every, ham tuber that's out there. We're doing our top 5 POTA gear picks that Shannon and I both use in the field and in our activations, and that we're just going to share with you. So, maybe this is the first time hanging out with us, or maybe you do hang out with us in general, and, you're wondering what we use for our gear and all the things that we recommend. Well, we're going to dive headfirst into that today and sprinkle in a little bit of new things here and there. So, buckle in and grab your cup of coffee, pour that extra sugar there, and let's kind of get into today's show. So we got a couple of things. We're going to change things up because we got a lot to kind of cover. I mean, 5 topics, I should say. We talked. The title says gear picks, but we kind of expanded that a little bit today. So we're going to be giving you a lot today. Some of that stuff might be Black Friday sales. Some of them might not. But hey, it might inspire you to kind of open up the wallet and get yourself maybe new antenna, radio, or something for your next POTA activation. So let's dive in. There's a bunch of folks in the chat this morning. Hello to Hamman, CT. I see us. Tortoise, again, Tortoise, thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships. We appreciate the support of the channel, and thank you again for that. And if you haven't and you're new to the chat here and you haven't headed over to Shannon's channel, make sure you like and subscribe to Shannon's channel as well, so we can start to get her into the rotation and start letting her get to experience some of the YouTube fames that we all go through here in trying to support our channels. So and let me see who else I saw. Prepam Paul, good morning. Chris, KD9, YSW there. Oh, man, there's a lot of people here in the chat this morning. Good to see you guys all. I'm sure you're all super excited sitting back in your Barker loungers because most people, like myself, might have today off. So, what better than to tune in with us? So I guess, Shannon, let's kind of just, what's been going on with you? I mean, obviously there's a lot, from last week to this week, but anything new going on in the POTA world for you or ham radio?
No, not really. I haven't been too active on the ham radios lately. I
Okay.
should have went out really. What day was it? Was it Wednesday? It was really warm, right? It
Mhm.
was almost, it was in the 50s here in Massachusetts, I think. Yet even yesterday it was fairly warm. But
Wow.
I heard as I think it was Ham Man Connecticut mentioned temperatures are supposed to be dropping here. It's going to be getting very chilly, very windy. So
Yep.
wear your
Wear
live
the
free and
beanies.
wear your live free and ham beanies or brew and activate beanies.
Yep, very much so. So, yeah, a couple of things. Actually, I think I saw Annie in there. Good. Thanks for joining there, Annie. Annie is a new ham, if I'm thinking this is the same Annie Day. Confirm that for me, Annie, if I got you right. Annie's a member of my local club here, and she's actually been to 24-hour POTA and a bunch of other stuff. So welcome to the chat. Good to see you in there, Annie, as well. And it's good to see folks, coming in on here. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's the shit Jabberjaws. I was wondering where she was going to pop up, but good to see you guys this morning. and Sean, man, like they must be both sitting in Barker loungers,
The
with their
dynamic duo.
they've been I'll sidebar here. I was actually looking in our Discord. I know Shane posted his whole activation, and man, even when the band seemed to be a little tough past couple of days, I think he proved once again that it doesn't matter what the propagation says. Get out there and start working the bands and make some contacts. He did phenomenally well, and my hat's off to you, Shane, there for putting out an awesome activation for sure. I tried to work him, but for whatever reason, I could not get him on 15, couldn't get him on 10, and I was, I didn't even try 20 at the time. But hey, based off his contact list, he made some very good contacts. So. All right. Well, with that, a couple of things. Just want to catch you guys up on housekeeping here. So just to remind you guys, I'm not a Black Friday shopper. I don't really like to kind of, get into that whole commercial thing. So most of the stuff that we're going to talk about today may have Black Friday sales, may not. The links I posted out there are, just there for you guys to go check out the products. And at the very end of this, we'll have them all posted in the description below, as well as in our Discord over at N1JOR Brew and Activate. And if you're not part of our Discord, what you doing? Head on over, come be a part of the group, and I'll throw the link in here really quickly. If I can go grab it here, where it is. Should just always have this ready available, but I never do. But there we go. And come be a part of it. I mean, obviously, I'm curious to see what you guys use in your activations, what type of gear you recommend to folks when they ask you about, what you're doing and when you're playing POTA. So, yeah, let's share some more stuff. Let's keep this going because, we're just rolling into the holiday season. And, what better than to gift the gift of POTA?
Yeah. So, like Eric was saying, to be honest, a lot of these products I think that we're looking at, they're available from multiple vendors, multiple sources. So, choose your favorite ham radio place to kind of support wherever that may be. Up here in the Northeast, we are very lucky to have a ham radio outlet, within minutes from our homes. So, for me personally, I try to support Ham Radio Outlet when I can, especially going there in person and visiting those guys because they're great, they're knowledgeable, and I would like to try to keep brick and mortar ham radio stores in business so that we do have the ability to get things in person right away instead of having to get it online. So, but yeah, wherever we post the links from, just make your own decisions on where you would like to purchase these particular items.
Yes, sir. So cool. So yeah, with that, we're going to be bouncing all over the place: Amazon, Radiolity, everything in between, as well as some smaller, ham companies that aren't, per se, mainstream or sell to all of the big guys like Gigaparts and DX Engineering and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully, if you can, try to show some love to those folks and purchasing their products, because they keep their doors open and they keep continuing fueling the ham radio hobby. So, always remember to shop local, as they say. So with that, I just want to make a little note, as always, as we said in past episodes and streams, that we are not, this is an ad-free stream, so I'd like to kind of keep it that way for you guys. So again, super chats always help out, as well as the memberships, keeps the channel running. And I'm going to be posting a quick goal there for folks, just as kind of in the giving spirit. If you are so interested and you want to jump in on the super chat goal, it's a very quick one, but in essence, it's a kind of a high bar. If you're interested in maybe getting into or, grabbing some ham radio swag, especially with Live Free and Ham, this little super chat goal is, you get to choose whatever t-shirt you want. So if you jump on this super chat goal first, you're obviously the one first in, first out kind of method. You'll get to pick your ham radio t-shirt off of Live Free and Ham. So if you've been eyeing for some, shirts or t-shirts or hats or swag or whatever, let me know, and we'll get you one sent out over there. And it's just a way I can, obviously help support the channel and obviously keep you guys, fueled with your ham radio passions, wearing, awesome products, of course. So let me see here. So let me get this choice. Let me get this launched here, and then that will go out. All right. So Let's dive in. So we're going to skip over our POTA Minute today because we got a lot to kind of cover. So sorry if you came here just for that POTA Minute. I know people love the tune and it's, kind of a wake-up call, but we're going to skip over that today. I just wanted to bring just quick attention to the POTA bucket list. Yep, we're good.
Can you
We
hear
got
us
audio.
now?
You hear audio
Uh,
now? I'm not there any longer.
and I would just like to say, if anybody can hear us, that Annie sent
Woohoo!
$19.99.
Thank you, Annie.
Uh, so thank you.
Hey,
Yay.
awesome.
Okay,
Appreciate that, Annie.
they're saying the sound is back.
Okay, good. All right, excellent. So, thank you again, Andy. We appreciate the super chat as always. And since I think, oh, actually, that she hit the goal. So nice job. Actually, did she get to grab the goal? Yep, she got the goal there, Annie. I will reach out to you, and we will get that T-shirt over to you, and I'll see you personally. So you and I can talk offline and get you something here. So. All right. Well, I was going to talk a little quick about the POTA bucket list. So maybe you haven't had a chance to come be part of the POTA bucket list community. We are kind of trying to do a little grassroots thing where we can support one another in some of our POTA goals that we're trying to shoot for. So if you head on over to the POTA bucket list at n1jr.com, and the link here is in the in the show chat, and sign up if you're interested. Again, starting in January, we are going to start to kind of have a little group go on. I might create a channel. I'm kind of planning some of that stuff in the background, so I'll be releasing more coming soon. With the idea that, hey, we're just going to do this little grassroots support kind of community within a community thing. So if you're a POTA activator and you just love to kind of just knock stuff off your task list or work towards a bucket list, then this might be a good way to kind of join in and be part of it. But check that out. If you feel so compelled, sign up and submit your, POTA bucket list, and we'll get to it in the future. So, all right. With that, I will no long overdue. We will dive over to our next kind of section here. And this is basically just, again, we're going to dive into the top 5 gear, and we'll say categories instead, because I think in the title it just said top 5 gear picks. But we've got a lot because Shannon and I, we don't just use one antenna, we don't just use one radio, and so if you're, obviously a POTA person like yourself, I'm sure you've got a laundry list of gear and packs and that type of stuff that you have in your arsenal. And so N+1 is really kind of what we were focusing on here today. So that's where we're going to be diving into. So let's head over to this screen, and hopefully this one will behave because I spent a little time here and trying to get this all squared away. How's the audio, guys? Just let me know if we're still good here.
Let us know if you can hear us now.
Exactly. So this is the format. And so basically we're going to talk our top 5 categories. And so our top 5 categories you see up the top are antennas, radios, comfort items, modes, and logging. Some of these might be obviously Black Friday deals. Some of them might not be. So we're going to go through all of these. But these are our personal picks. These are things that we use, we trust, we use out in the field all the time. And a lot of times, I'm sure we recommend to several new hams that are out there, trying to get into POTA, or, share when we go out to our own activations. So we'll dive in each of those topics, and Shannon and I will bounce stuff back and forth. But so if you've got a couple as we kind of go each of the topics, throw those in the chat, and we'll make sure we share those along the way, or provide your comments or feedback, and we'll be interested to see what you guys say. So without further ado, I think we're ready to buckle in there, Shannon.
All right.
All right, cool.
Sounds like a plan.
Nothing in the chat there, and nobody's comments, feedback. So we'll dive in here. And so, as I said, our first category here this morning is going to be into antennas. And so we're going to start there. And so because ladies first, I'm going to give Shannon the floor first, and she's going to talk a little bit about her antenna picks and, kind of give you a little flavor as to why and what she uses, and then I'll share what I got. So, Shannon, the
All
floor is
right.
yours.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about this antenna setup that is actually the first antenna setup that I used for POTA, which a lot of people haven't heard about. And Eric's got the wrong thing up
Oh,
there.
you wanted to talk about that
I was
first?
gonna,
Okay, fine.
I
You
was
go to the
gonna,
hustler.
yeah, you had the hustlers up
And
there,
did I have it listed?
so I was gonna
I
start
have,
with the hustlers. This is
okay.
the first, POTA setup that I ever used, and actually the way that I got these hustlers was that somebody from the Great Hill Gang sold me the mast, the little triangle piece, and like at least 5 of the resonator coils for $40. Okay. So when you see how much each of these individual pieces cost, new, you will see, what a good deal they are. But whether you choose to get them new for yourself or maybe be on the lookout for these at a ham fest, they really are a great little deal. Annie's saying we have no sound.
Oh, no sound again. How is that possible? What the heck is going on with this tool? All right. Let me see. Did it fade out here? Nope. Still no sound. What's going on? Why are our sounds going away?
Check, mic check.
Anybody hearing us? We still should be getting audio. I don't know why it's kicking us off.
Oh, Bearded is saying he has sound.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Good.
Okay,
right.
good.
Excellent. Thank you, guys.
So,
like, we hear each other. Okay, good.
So, yeah, so I used this setup with the triple mag mount. It has a 3/8 inch screw hole in it. And then the mast comes in a couple different options. I just chose that one. There's one that like folds over at 15 inches from the base. And then there's one that folds over, I think, from 27 inches from the base. And there might be one that doesn't fold over at all. There's quite a few different options with this. Obviously, the good thing about the fold over is that I guess if you're going to leave it attached to your car all the time and you're going to garage it, then you can fold it over. So, and then if you want to put up there's this triangular metal piece, right, that actually allows you to fit 3 of the resonator coils on there. And the coils literally come in every band that you could imagine. I'd imagine there's probably a 6-meter one. There's, 10, 11 for UCBers. There's 12, 15, 17, 20, 30, 40, there's probably 60, and all the way up to even like 75 meters and then 80 meters. And there might even be 160. I'm not sure. I didn't check that quite that far into it.
That would be pretty big.
But, so it goes, it goes the whole range. So what I put on there was I put on my list the 3 resonators that I actually used the most were the 10, the 15, and the 20. So I used to put those 3 on the little triangle. And with my G90, it used to be able to work 10, 12, 15, 17, and 20, because the G90, using that, it would tune up those 2, in between bands, the work bands there. So, it's an older style of antenna. Not a lot of people talk about the Hustler antennas, but for me personally, I use them. I actually using the Hustlers with the G90. So with only 20 watts, that was how I made contact with Hawaii on 10 meters on SSB for the first and only time ever that I have ever talked to Hawaii was on 10 meters SSB using these Hustler antennas. So on only 20 watts. So highly recommend.
And so these are basically the stingers and masts by band, sort of like how ham sticks are.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So, and they're relatively priced, $35. That's probably right around what ham sticks are going for these days. So, if you're looking for a similar kind of alternative, although Hustlers, obviously, I knew Hustler when I was licensed very first time, and it was, you could go down to, for those that live in New England, remember You Do It Electronics. That was a big place where you could pick up all CB gear and stuff like that. And they had a little bit of ham equipment, and, Hustler was definitely, one of the things that they sold a lot of. So, yeah, they're definitely a good antenna brand. And I haven't used them myself. So yeah, if you're hitting halfway around Hawaii or wherever with it, yeah, I'm impressed.
And yeah, so, and I posted the links there from Ham Radio Outlet. I know for a fact that they have a good selection of Hustler stuff at the one up in Salem, New Hampshire. So definitely, if that's something that interests you, check them out. Or, like I said, not just for Black Friday, although it looks like they're having Black Friday blowout at Ham Radio Outlet. So definitely check them
They're
out.
getting there. Yeah, I don't have anything to buy this year, but I did see the Black Friday sales up there. So we'll have to hold the wallet over here and put it in ice, and then encase it in a vault and drop it down in the ocean before I think about actually opening it up. But cool. All right, good deal. So we're gonna do a little. So if you haven't figured out the format, we're gonna kind of go back and forth. So I'm gonna throw mine into the ring here really quickly, and one of those. Antennas themselves, for me, I've got two of them, but the one I really love and I profess a lot about and has literally just taken place in my kit for all of my POTA activations for verticals is the Mad Dog coil. And so those that may have one or have picked up one of his original ones remember the 80 meter, which is a lot thinner and narrow, is super light. I love that antenna. He's calling those his legacy brands. So he's replaced those with the Big Dog and the Little Dog, which are 80 and 40 meter coils, appropriate, not multi-banded coils, of course. But this one is the Big Dog. I have one that is in my POTA bag, and it is a little chunky. I have to say it's one of the bigger, thicker antennas. So if you've maybe gotten used to maybe a Wolf River coil size, it's definitely thicker, which obviously adds to a lot of, of its, usefulness out in the field. But the one thing with this antenna that most people tend to kind of get confused with is that if you've got like a Wolf River coil, I think the whip that he includes with that's like a 17-foot whip. Oh, it's not. It's larger.
No, no.
Or does he offer a bigger one?
No, the whip that comes with a Wolf River coil is 9 feet.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's even shorter than that. Okay. So then I must have bought the upgrade or picked up another whip somewhere when I bought my Wolf River coil. So I've had it forever. But that whip I was using was 17 foot. And that for this type of coil actually is a little bit of a challenge for sure. I end up moving up to the 25 foot, which makes it a little bit longer in the POTA bag. But definitely a good match to this antenna. And if you pick up this antenna up, I would say definitely get yourself a second coil because it helps in quick band changes. And if you're even more lazier like myself, then you should be picking up the Lazy Dog, which you just bolt to the side of this thing. And now you can just do multiple band changes from a small little switch. So it makes it really, really slick out in the field. So I can run, 10, 20, 15 and 17 all off of 4 position, and if I want to throw in maybe 60 or 80, I could do that, and all through just a quick dial and kind of a set up once and forget and off playing radio. So these things can support some definitely power through them. So I wouldn't say a kilowatt or 600 watts, but you definitely, if you're an FT8 user and you're looking for a coil that can really take abuse, this is one of those coils that I think can, definitely stand up to the test of time. And I know he obviously, with all the tariffs and stuff like that, that bumps the price up a little bit. But I know Marty definitely stands behind his products. And like I said, I wouldn't, use them myself if I didn't believe in what they offer and how they perform. And just like Shannon, I get Europe a lot with them. I get, a lot of DX because it's just a really good, strong antenna. So it can definitely hear really well. So that's my pick there for my first antenna. And Shannon, you got another one in the mix because I obviously revealed that to the rest of the world. So,
I mean, we have many antennas in the mix, right? So,
yep.
And you have your Mad Dog coil. I hear Ham Man Connecticut talking about his Wolf River coil, and that was another antenna that I sort of moved to is so I have a 17-foot whip. I have the MFJ 1979 17-foot whip. So I was using that for a while just on the triple mag mount. Of course, MFJ is no more, so now you need to find, a new source for your 17-foot whip. I think I added a link in there for the chameleon antenna
Hmm.
17-foot whip.
Yep.
So the great thing about having one of those 17-foot whips is that it is super versatile, right? So I used that just on the triple mag mount on top of the car. When you fully extend it, it's resonant on 20 meters. When you fully collapse it, it's resonant on 6 meters. Now you combine that with something like a Wolf River coil, which I had on my list. And
Hmm.
now you can do the same thing, right? Fully extended, it works on 20, all the way down, it works on 6. And you don't even have to use that little sleeve on the Wolf River coil. But then once you start to introduce the sleeve, then you're able to get it on, um, the 30, 40, 60, 80.
Hmm.
And if you put a 25-foot whip on top of the Wolf River coil, you might be able to get 160, but don't quote me on that. Like I said,
Yeah.
I haven't tried it, but there could be ways, so
It
that's all about experimenting, right?
It is, and so I can confer that Grouch and I at one field day tried to use the Wolf River coil with that extra longer, whip from Chameleon or it was Cha, or I can't remember what one he had, but it did not. We could not get it below 3 to 1 with trying to get 160, but we ended up taking my Mad Dog 80, and at the time I also had an 80. Another coil 80, so we stacked both of those on top of the antenna, and used a small 17-foot whip, and we were on 160, no problem. So you just need that little extra boost kind of thing to get over the hump there. So I now that I see him and who was saying earlier they were selling their Wolf River coil, I think I might have to do the same with mine. It's sitting in a box.
So,
So
um, so I have that Silver Bullet 1000. I have the Platinum Edition. It's, supposed to be thicker so you can put more power through it. It also came with, the little tripod, so the 3 little legs. Um, so I use it with that. And like I said, I use it with either the 17-foot whip or the 25-foot whip, usually the 17-foot whip. The
got it.
9-foot whip is fine and it's compact. It just means that you have to use the sleeve and the coil more, which it can be a little bit finicky trying to, get those, get the specific bands in.
Yep. Now, just keep in mind he did have at one time two versions. One was like you mentioned, the regular silver bullet, and then the platinum. I think he's replaced the platinum and silver bullet and combined it as one because I'm sure people weren't just paying attention and melting their coils with FT8 on the regular 1000. Don't ask me how I know. And so yeah, it's one of those things that I think he just kind of combined it. Although he made that new mini, which I've seen a lot of reviews on, which is interesting to kind of have as a smaller, condensed coil, which is pretty cool.
So yeah, so that's, kind of my pick for I got that for when I want to activate away from the car.
Very cool. Now, I'll be like looking at the photos. It looks like a lot of people have, we'll say, adapted or changed. It's pretty cool. The octaphone is an interesting kind of option, which kind of falls into like your hustler idea where you were doing multi-band, features. You can do that with their what he calls the octaphone. This is an interesting kind of scenario. The whole looks like it's tied into the tailpipe, which I can't tell by the photo, but I'd have to say that's a interesting design there, and especially the mag mount. I would probably use something a little stronger off the side of the car there, not that small little mini, small quarter wave antenna mag mount. But hey, it works. It works. So cool. All right. Yeah, I love the Wolf River coils. Definitely can't beat it, and it's good price, and they're American made for sure.
And it's good that, like I said, I got the one that came with the stand and the tripod. So it's like you have pretty much everything that you need in that one package once you purchase it. I think it was like $230 or, $270, something like that. All you need to add is the coax. You
Yep.
know, it comes with radials too, and it looks like they're actually having a Black Friday special where you get, some free radials. So if your package comes with radials already, I don't know if that means you get more extra radials. We were actually kind of trying to figure that out, maybe reach out to them and ask them if the extra radials is something that you're interested in. Do you
Right.
get more extra radials? But I use it with a Faraday cloth anyway, because I think that's a little easier than the radials. But
Mhm.
I like the fact that it just comes with pretty much everything that you need. Just add the coax, just plug it into the back of your radio, and you're pretty much good to go. It's
Yep.
not like, okay, now I have this antenna, but I need to find some way to mount it and, all that.
This is a little pet peeve of mine. I'm trying to figure out where like you can actually order, because I know you used to be able to order the Silver Bullet Mini or Silver Bullet, and you used to be able to configure your leg style and a few of the other things. So I'm not seeing it on the order page where you could actually order or configure some of that. It's weird. Oh, okay, here we go. It's a little confusing. It's all the way down at the bottom. So he does have a longer whip. That's good. And the dual collar, I have that. I love that option. Again, I'm all about convenience and having to get up twice to tune an antenna. So the dual collar was always great for me to set it for two bands and didn't have to worry about it. Definitely, the spike is a good option for sure. You want to make sure you do the K-Murder option and sharpen it to a point because it just makes it easier, especially with cold weather and up here in the north where it freezes. Yeah, you need that. A good point to drive into the ground. Yeah, these are the extensions that I have. This is the one thing I love about the Wolfer recoil that I think I've adapted otherwise is that the 24-inch extension rods, if you ever want to kind of get your coil up higher so it can hear, it maybe a little bit more broadbanded, this is a great addition. It's a little bit more, we'll say, prone to falling over in the wind and high winds or even a light breeze. But you basically take your two 24-foot extensions and basically stack them on one another and elevate your coil. And I have always had really good performance when I do that. But at the same time, I have to especially anchor the base because the 24-inch base is not wide enough to be able to spread it out and really get it, to sit. It becomes very unwieldy. It's sort of like one of those like things you see at the car washes with the little figurines that kind of do the dance out in the in the front of the parking lot trying to attract you. So that's basically something you're just going to be wary of. Okay. All right. Cool on the Wolfer recoil there. So, yes, a few people alluded to where's the Reliance antenna, and yeah, here is your wish. I love Reliance antennas for sure, obviously. And so my pick is many, but this one I kind of settled on really quickly. This is the bug out. This is you can't go wrong with this antenna. I have them in a plentiful supply, and they're scattered through my POTA bags in my truck as a backup antenna. And, Matt configures these antennas in a couple of different ways. You can get them in multiple colors if you want to kind of mix and match your setup. So if you don't like we'll say the green version or the orange as he kind of creates this kit, you can very much go into his shop and customize the heck out of this thing, both by wire, your winder types, whether you want to use the small bug out mini choke. You can kind of tailor it the way you want for your type of style of operating. And Matt provides all of that here on his site, so you can pick and choose. And, hey, if you want to save a little money, you can always use my call sign N1JUR to get 10% off. That's forever available, even after Black Friday. So, if you're ever shopping for that new antenna, then use my call sign and you'll get 10% off, and you can't beat that. But Matt makes a great antenna. I know, Shannon, do you have one?
The Matt's Reliance antenna. No, I am waiting for Matt. He promised me that he was gonna make me one with the counterpoise lug. So
Hmm.
that's what I'm waiting for.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put a bug in his ear and we'll make that happen soon because he's usually very super busy being in IT himself. So I
Oh yeah.
understand
No
he's running around.
worries. No rush. But I do 100% believe in, not just, supporting the local shops, but then if we can support our local hams that also make stuff like Matt making the Reliance antennas, like Lucas, Whiskey One, Bravo, Tango, Romeo, who makes those like all-in-one boards, all-in-one cables, those little kits. I'm not even a builder, and I bought like one of every kit that he had just because, if anyone knows me, I am very indecisive. So if I can't pick, I'm like, I'll just take one of everyone. And, so if you're trying to sell me something, like, just know that I'm a great big pushover and it probably won't be
Can't
a
go wrong.
problem.
Yep, Shannon's here. Take my money is the phrase. So
Yeah, exactly.
all right, cool. Okay, so yeah, Reliance is the way to go if and don't get me wrong, Reliance pretty much stacks toe to toe, I think, with a lot of the bigger guys out there like Pactena and a few others that are escaping me at the moment. But yeah, for the bang for the buck you're getting out of Matt's antennas is, I think, second to none. I mean, he definitely makes it up, obviously, on the cost side, but you gain so much more. I've always put his antennas out in the field, and we've always had better, obviously ears, but better better receive reports on transmissions and that type of stuff. And if you've got a good setup, you can definitely use the tuned antenna for multiple bands, which is awesome. And that choke, I have to say, is I was never a believer of chokes, and it's not as an antenna per se here, but I think now that I use chokes, I literally have chokes everywhere in all my bag. I don't know why I didn't like buy onto this train kind of thing beforehand, but now that I have them, my receive is much quieter. I'm not having to deal with a lot of other RFI type related issues when you go to those busy parks. So yeah, Matt does an awesome choke, and I've got those two as well. So can't go wrong. All right. So, okay, that's with the antennas. Anything else you want to throw in the mix there, Shannon, that we may not have talked about that we should make mention when it comes to antennas?
I think we talked about all the antennas that I
Okay.
have used, at
Okay.
least.
Good. All right. I'm the same. And, like I said, if you've got a few that you want to recommend to share with us, definitely head on over to the Discord to N1JUR Brew and Activate. Throw them in there, and we'll make sure we add them to our field guide list, because I want to kind of keep adding to that. And you guys can help by, posting your favorite antennas, the ones you use out in the field, and recommend to folks when they ask, what do you use for an antenna? So, all right. So let's keep plugging away here. So let's get into our next category here. And that one is
Tortoise just sent 5 more gift memberships.
Tortoise, you are the man today. Thank you again. You are my Santa Claus. We appreciate it. Yes. So I've got a few gift memberships here. So let me just kind of read those off real quick. LY Lidl, W1RKDH Ham Radio, Byte 21 UK, Mr. Opeki, and Todd got W1STJ got a gifted membership. Congratulations, guys. Thank you again. Head over to the channel. There's some great stuff. I'm adding more and more as we get going now that I'm back on a rhythm here, and I've got a little bit more time to produce stuff. I'm putting stuff out for the membership first, so you guys get to see it all before it ends up getting out to the public. So head on over there. Sorry, Ham Man. We'll make sure we get you around next round. All right. So let's get into our second topic here, or category. And so this is kind of radios. And so we'll talk radios now. And so we all have our favorites, which we all use. Everyone kind of, can throw theirs in the chat, I'm sure. But, Shannon and I, we have a couple ourselves, and it might not surprise you, but at the same time, you never know. So Shannon, fire away.
Wait, we're on radios?
Radios,
Oh
yes.
my gosh. It's so hard to even know where to begin with radios, right? So what was
it's very easy for me.
it's so like, what was my very first radio? My very first radio was a Xiaoyu G90.
Okay.
And, it was my first radio, and I still have it, right? I haven't gotten rid of it. I think it's such a great little versatile radio. A lot of people like to, maybe crap on it a little bit because maybe it doesn't have the best filtering. Maybe the menus aren't the most intuitive. Some bougie people don't like it because it's cheap, I guess. I don't know.
Bougie. Do we even have that in ham radio? I've
Oh,
always known
yes.
hams as the frugal crew.
Oh, yes. There are
Okay.
people
Bougie.
that, I don't know, they think that if you have a G90, it's because you're like a poor ham. But, especially at this time of year, Radioddity always has the G90 bundle. And this is when I became a ham, right? I became a ham in like November, December of 2020. Um, I was just getting started in the hobby. I was recommended to not spend $1,500 on a base station because I live in the city and I was probably going to have horrible RFI problems. I was recommended to get the G90, bring it out in the field, get a little, 12 amp hour sealed lead acid battery off of Amazon and some wire, a BNC to banana plug adapter, throw that wire in a tree, tune it up, see what you can hear, It's the tale as old as time.
Mhm.
So, I so I highly recommend the G90. I love the G90. For many a new ham, I say get a G90. It's so small, you can fit it in like this small little backpack. Yes, the menus are a little weird. I keep the cheat sheet. I think it came with a cheat sheet, or there was, a website that you could download a cheat sheet that kind of reminds you what the different button settings do. But really, like, if you're not changing modes that much, you really don't have to change too many of the settings. Once you get it set up, it's set up and it's good to go. And that bundle, they're always changing the bundle. So it looks like, it comes with the fan stand, which is great. You should use the fans if you're doing digital. I don't do digital with it that much.
Mhm.
But the stand is good because it actually tilts the front of the radio up a little bit so that you can see it better. It looks like that one doesn't even have a fan, so
That's
maybe
very
they've
bougie,
changed maybe
definitely.
they've maybe they've changed their design a little bit. It comes with the little data card. I'm not a fan of the data card. I was never put that thing together. I would just get a digi-rig for it, which I think I saw digi-rig was maybe on your list.
We're talking about
So
this one, right?
yeah, that thing was sort of a pain in the neck. Maybe if you're a smart builder, you can figure that thing out, but that's not me. So, I like the digi rig. It's just built and ready to go. Um, so, that's my first pick for
Okay.
radios. And then if you would like to give one of
I'll
you,
throw one in
since
the
we're
ring
since
here
we're going
before,
back and
but
forth.
before we do that, I want to say thank you again. You guys are freaking awesome. Thank you again for that 5 gifted memberships. So that came from Ham Radio K4 HEF, and
Someone
those.
else gifted more?
Yes, exactly. Yes,
He
these
gifted
guys are going crazy.
10.
It's like Black Friday for N1JURs.
He didn't give 5, he gave 10.
Oh, he gave 10. There we go. Yes, I did. Yes, sorry, my mistake. My glasses need to be tuned again. So I got a couple here: Joseph VE3 GTK, KC9 APS, KF8 YEI amateur radio, and Roll PD9 RJ. And I'm sure I haven't seen the rest fly by. I don't know where the heck those went. But ultimately, yeah, thank you again, guys. We appreciate the love, and thank you guys again for all of the great channel memberships and all of the support for sure. That's awesome. All right, and many more to go. Cool. All right, we got Dawn in there. Good to see you. Man, there's a lot of folks jumping in today, so welcome. Thank you guys again for checking us out for sure. All right, so let me dive over to my pick here. So obviously, we are looking at... where is mine? All right, so I am going to go with obviously my favorite radio, which I have to say I love, but at the same time I just don't use a lot, and I have to apologize for that because I just when I go out to an activation, I usually have my 891 in the truck, and so that's already there. And if I'm out doing an activation with somebody else, I'm usually bringing 100 watts anyway. But my radio that I love, and I have built a beach go bag kind of around this radio, primarily for my benefit to play ham radio while the wife is, catching her vitamin D's or, soaking in the ocean air. I can set this up with a small little easy, 25-foot or 17-foot whip at the beach, and I'm not, too inconspicuous kind of thing. And so, yeah, the FX4CR is a great little radio. It's got its little quirks here and there if you've been in the FX4CR community but there are ways to work around it. There's new enhancements. I love this little radio, the size of it, the functionality, the fact that it has digital, it does 20 watts. You can't go wrong with it. He has developed a great radio. And it's in stock, so those that might want to be able to get their hands on one can finally get one, and it's not unobtainium like a lot of some of these smaller radios that are out there. And again, it's again helping support other ham radio creators that are building these things out in the field for us to be able to use. And they have a very active Groups IO community that I, kind of peruse a lot just to get updates or, fixes or, answer a lot of the questions like, hey, what do I use for a better headset? And how can I change out the microphone? And what other features can I add to it? Like, adding cooling and a few other things. So, yeah, great little radio. I can't go wrong with this one and is one of my favorites for sure. When it comes to, we'll say QRP kind of, or just in general, small form factor radios. All right. So good with that one. Shannon, let's go to your second pick.
All right. So my second pick, right, is I think were we gonna go to the Zbit X?
Yep.
Did
Yep.
you okay.
We are.
I'm just making sure
Yeah, I'm
what
just following along. Yeah,
what
that's what
link
I got
we
at
got
least in
going
the
on
order.
here. So, maybe you guys have heard of this little radio. It's called the Zbit X. And my good friend Vince, he convinced me to get one of these things. I was actually going to order it online, but they ended up being at Hamvention, so I got it, in person at Hamvention. And the great thing about this, it's a little 5-watt QRP radio, and it does FT8 built in. So if you are a fan of FT8, it's all built into this. You don't need a separate computer. You don't need a separate digi-rig. And it also has logging built right into it. So it has, a Raspberry Pi faceplate here. The other really cool thing about this radio is that it runs off of 2 of these little 18650 lithium ion batteries, right?
Yep.
So very, very cool with that. And so Vince actually custom designed me this 3D printed faceplate too. So if you would also like a custom 3D printed faceplate for your Zbit X, I'm sure I can help you get set up to have your faceplate designed, and then he'll send you the file just to, either print it yourself or have someone that print it. I don't have a 3D printer, so
She'll hook you up.
yeah, I'll help you get it designed, and then you can print it yourself or have someone print it for you. But
And that's a trademarked Shannon pink. So just in case you want
yep,
OHT color, so just know that.
exactly. So, the great thing about this is that it's like under $200, which is amazing. How many radios, how many transceivers can we get that are under $200? So
No,
that,
not many.
it's like at that price, it's practically a ham radio stocking stuffer.
Yep. And it's definitely the QRP kind of style radio. So we're running like what? Just 5 watts max on this thing?
Yes, 5
Yeah.
watts.
So, yeah, definitely. I almost pulled the trigger on it. I wasn't quite, again, because I had the FX4CR. I love the fact that it had everything built in, which was a really cool, nice design interface enhancement. And so that always kind of attracted me to it. But then I was like, do I need another QRP radio? It's just to be like, one of those radios that I kind of look at like in Spinal Tap. It's like, don't touch that guitar. Don't breathe on that one. That one goes to 11 because this one only does to 10. So kind of thing. So, but yeah, awesome little radio for sure. I'll have to borrow it from you, even though it's, got that pink cover.
Anytime.
Excellent. We'll have to do a little trade. You can play in the FX4 CR world there and go from there. Oh, Mike, inflation has kicked in on Mike here. $200 is $200. It used to be $20 as of last week. So who knows what's going on now? Maybe he's increased his Black Friday budget.
Yep.
So very cool. All right, so good on the Zbit X there. That a great little radio for sure. And
It's a fun toy to play with, right? We're hams. We love our toys, and we just can't say no to a good deal, I think. So,
yeah, I would agree with that because I remember a couple of times I've said no and then I regretted it and Had buyer's remorse, so totally understand. All right. Well, this is a category that's near and dear to my heart that I love, and people hear me talk about, I'm sure often, and kind of roll their eyes because, and not everybody, when they go out and activate always thinks in this way. But ultimately, we're going to roll to, the next category, which is the comfort items. And this is, like I said, a big thing for me. But Shannon, you got a couple that you use out in the field in general and, want to recommend.
What are we calling the comfort items? Is this the POTA wagon?
Yeah, your POTA wagons, that type of stuff. Yeah. Following that
Okay.
list.
Yeah. So, all right. Okay. I see it. Table, POTA wagon, and
Yeah. Which one do you
headset.
want to go first? Yep.
We'll start with the POTA wagon. So, I
All
always
right.
talk about my POTA wagon, and people laugh at me because, I don't know why they like to laugh about the POTA wagon.
Really?
But, listen, okay, maybe we should have started with the 100 amp hour battery, because when you're bringing a 100 amp
Mm.
hour battery into the field, not that it's very heavy, but, when you have multiple things to carry, it's just easier to stick it in a wagon. So the reason why I got the POTA wagon originally was because I wanted to activate Breakheart Reservation in Saugus, Massachusetts, and I wanted to go into where the picnic area was. There's a playground inside there, and there's a little lake swimming area. So, but the parking area was like literally about half a mile from where the picnic area was, which isn't very far. But when you have all this stuff to carry, you're not going to make multiple trips back and forth to and from the car. So I ended up getting the POTA wagon, and there's all different ones you can get. I happened to get this Ozark Trail one from Walmart because I could get it right away, and it was, cheap on sale, something like that. But it lives in the back of the Subaru now. So I just always have this wagon whenever I need it. If I want to activate a little bit further away from the car. Now, I wouldn't bring this up a mountain, right? You're not gonna you're not gonna drag it up a soda. But if you're walking on, a paved path like the path that Breakheart Reservation is, or it has pretty big tires, so it can probably do, a little bit of an unpaved, slightly rugged
Oh,
path, nothing
that
too
that
crazy.
yeah. Okay, so I think in your 2.0 enhancement, I have a couple that I'll recommend to you that I've seen in the baseball, softball realms when I was coaching. That the wheels literally were like inflatable, like basically AT all-terrain kind of tires that probably could have rolled over a small little subcompact and not pop. These might yeah,
Listen,
they might break.
listen, okay? Your mileage may vary, but that is one of my, comfort items for if I want to, activate further away from the car than, what I can comfortably make in, one trip.
Okay. Well, I agree with this one. I think we should definitely do two things going forward, and maybe we should just do a little, I don't know, fundraiser kind of thing, or super chat explosion kind of thing that we contribute all of the, those funds to, the POTA Wagon 2.0. We'll get it branded. We'll definitely make it in pink. We'll, get it with some stronger knobby tires, and maybe if we're so inclined and you want to leverage off your 100 amp hour battery, we can make it motorized a little bit with a little bit of driving assist, so you don't have to pull so heavy through whatever you're going through. That's just I can't leave anything alone, as you know. All right, okay, cool. So I love the POTA wagon. I like the idea, but I don't think I'd be caught dead when wielding one. So more power
It's
to
like,
you.
remember that old commercial, like the Mr. Rolling Cooler roller, because he doesn't have a friend to help him carry the
Carry
cooler.
things. Yes, I do remember that one. We had to dig that commercial up for sure. So the POTA Wagon 1.0. We'll call this the KC10HT version.
I
So
mean, how much is it? It's
it's $50, $60.
okay?
Yep.
So there's,
Can't go wrong.
there's tiers to these wagons. I wasn't looking to spend over $100 on a wagon. I was trying to keep it cheap and cheerful, as my good friend Mike Golf Zero RFD says. Cheap and cheerful, that's the UK way of saying it.
Okay. Yes. All right. And so, at least you've got Prep Ham Paul. He's ready to pull his one out and bring one with him in the future. And Ham Man Connecticut is more looking for a chair, but maybe we can figure out how to convert this into a chair once you finally get to the
No,
location.
you put
Kind
the
of.
chair in the wagon.
You could, yeah.
Or,
Well, fine.
then your
Just one
chair's
more
on the
thing.
shoulder and you're dragging the wagon.
Holy moly, where are you going?
What's one what's one more thing when you already have a whole wagon? That's
Are
what
you
I'm
a nomad
saying.
at this point? My gosh, it's like you're traveling halfway around the world just to go to do an activation.
Listen, once you
Very cool.
have the wagon, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, I bet. 100%. All right. So, okay. Well, we'll get to my picks here, and I got a couple here because, like I say, I am Mr. Comfort, and so I prefer to very much do POTA activations in style, and no one can tell me different for sure. So let's go pull up my selection here, and where is the one I want to start with? So we'll start with my table since I don't actually pull anything to the site because I try to keep everything in like either a bag or a small carry with me. But I'm not about pulling anything quite yet. Maybe if I get big. But my batteries are 20 amp hours, so they're small enough they still pack in. So I am going to recommend this one, and I know I got a lot of like, hey, what table is that? When we did our kilo activation with Todd and I. And this is the Helinox Table 1. This is the large version, so keep this in mind. This is a great table. I love this thing. It packs down super small and offers a lot of space for both the radios, laptop. Two people can share it relatively easy, and you're not bumping elbows. And it assembles, and it's pretty strong. I mean, I have literally put a 50 amp hour battery on top of it and a radio and stuff like that. And it's held up very well. It's very ultra light. It's kind of made for the backpacking community. If you folks that know Helinox, they are a little pricey. I will say from a standpoint of, this device over something a little, smaller, cheaper. 9 times out of 10, those, you end up replacing them with something like this. And so you might be able to find some good deals. I know definitely this is a little bit cheaper on Amazon now during Black Friday, but I've seen a few end of the year sales. Like if you live in Maine and you go up to like, places like LL Bean and whatnot, they tend to sell some of these. And I ended up picking one up for, very, very cheap, which I was super excited to get. But it packs down super small. So like literally when I'm carrying stuff into a site, I'm carrying one bag and this little, bag and a small little bag that I can hang from my backpack. And, I don't have any need to wheel anything in. So, all good either way. You do you. But I'm just to say, I'm all about packing light. Being a Boy Scout, that was kind of always, driven home. So that's kind of why I went this route. And you can't go wrong. I mean, it's a buy once, cry once kind of thing. But you definitely can't go wrong with this table or even Helinox in general. So one of my other things, and I'll just touch on it really quick since I'm already here, is my camp chair. So there was a lot of folks in the chat saying they were looking for a good chair. Again, if you're looking for something small, now the Helinox chairs, they come in various sizes. I like this one because it hugs you a little bit better and, has a lot of easy, storage up on the headrest for like throwing your jacket or whatever. But it packs down super small as like just the table does too as well. But it's super comfortable. I find a lot of times that, when I'm operating, I am not, ever. The hardest part I think I have with this one is it sits low. So I'm a tall guy. And as I get older in my age, trying to get out of it is a little harder. But that's just the price you kind of pay for the convenience and functionality. And it's a really good, chair overall. So this might be right up your alley. They have other ones in the lineup, like this one. This is their chair 1, which is a little wider and, kind of shorter. Still packs down super small and is actually just a little cheaper. And I was thinking about this one, but I wanted the high back version just in case I wanted to lean back kind of thing. So again, comfort guy. Will do everything I can to, make sure that is, a top priority when I'm activating, because I want to activate as much as I can and often as I can. So having that capability is definitely on the top end of the list there. You got a couple more you want to throw in, or I can keep going down my list because this is kind of where I shined.
No, you can keep
Okay.
going for now.
All right. Okay. So my next one is again a comfort thing. My daughter bought this for me, and I have to say, I was skeptical when I first bought it, but like I don't do a lot of activations outside. But as the winter started to settle here in New England, it got colder a little bit sooner than I wanted. But I didn't want to wear something super bulky where I have to throw off or, try to figure out how to tuck it away. And again, along the line, since I'm not bringing a POTA wagon, I can't just throw it in the POTA wagon as I take layers off. So I'm kind of thinking in that sense. And so this is one of the things my daughter bought me. This is one of many. I wouldn't say spend that much money on this type of thing. I think she bought hers for me at Costco and spent like $60, but it's great. The only weird thing about it is that I feel like I'm a battery pack myself, because literally there's a small little battery pack that sits in there to charge, obviously, to heat the jacket up. So I kind of feel like, a little odd or weird that, I'm powering myself on to stay warm, so I'm a battery heater, I guess is the best way to kind of describe it in the mix there. But it's awesome. I have to say that I don't have to wear multiple layers when I used to last year. Now I just wear this with a couple of lighter, kind of things underneath it, and it keeps me warm. Especially like where in that Helinox chair, it's open to the back air. So air will flow through that chair pretty good to try to keep you cool, but it's not great in the sense of, it keeping you warm, but this jacket does a great job doing that. So yeah, look into those. You might be surprised trying one on. Costco has some really good deals, but I couldn't find it on their website. So definitely a good way. Wagons are the true MVP. Okay, fine. It sounds like a t-shirt in the making. All right, the last
Oh my
one.
God, yes. I'm definitely designing that
There you
POTA
go.
wagon t-shirt. Look for it on the Live Free and Ham store.
There you go. All right. Well, so then we just started the ball rolling. Awesome. So the last one, and actually good segue, Shannon. I love that. It's an awesome option. This is going to go on sale today for Black Friday. So the regular price is dropping. I have to go look at what that's going to change to because I just got an update notice. But to ease some of the pain and pricing, I'm also offering from now until the end of Cyber Monday a 30% off. Obviously, use anything on the store, and that's all Live Free and Ham. So you can head over to livefreeandham.com/shop. But this one is the winter beanie. I have to say, this hat, I'm wearing it now, and I'm starting to develop a sweat, and it's not even really super cold here, but it's a super comfortable hat. I love wearing it. We've got a couple different ones. We've just created one, like Shannon alluded to earlier, for Brew Activate. So if you want to support the channel that way, you can definitely head over there and grab your one from there. And it comes in a bunch of different colors. I have the yellow and I have the blue one. Both great hats. Definitely keep me warm outside when I'm either walking the dog or doing POTA, either way. So definitely can't go wrong. The coupon code, I think if Shannon throw it in there, it's N1JUR. And so, use that from now until Monday and you get 30% off anything, obviously, in the store. But obviously, you want to go for the beanie hats too. You can go get yourself one there and help, obviously, N1JUR, but the Live Free and Ham crew, so awesome. Okay, so that's it for comfort for me. I think I could go on for hours, and Shannon would probably have to cut me off. But we've got a couple other topics here to get into.
Well, I mean, since you're showing clothing, maybe you could show, my shirt. One shirt that I do already have designed,
Okay.
which is
Do you
on
have
the
that
Grout.
link?
It's on the Grouch's store. I just sent it to you in the
Private?
private chat, I do
Okay.
believe.
Let me go get it.
So, I designed this shirt. It was right after Hamvention 2025. And, I was just so
Nope, that's
hyped.
ABR.
Nope, that's
Yep,
that's
that's
something
ABR.
else.
Yep, I know. I just saw that. I
It
didn't even look
actually,
at the
for
link.
some reason, it didn't post as a link. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, that's why I was like, it's not a text.
You might have to copy and paste.
There we go.
There we go. So it was right after Hamvention 2025. I was so hyped up on ham radio that I asked ChatGPT to design this shirt for me in this 1940s pinup style. And ChatGPT hit the nail right on the head. And Paul N1OG, the Grouch from New Hampshire, he was kind enough to get the shirt on the store. So this is limited edition, only going to be available until the end of 2025. So if you are looking for some essential POTA wear, show your ham radio pride and jump over to the Grouch's store and pick up one of these shirts.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. All right. Good on that. So let's go back here. And all right. So that's good enough for comfort there. Obviously, you don't want, unless you're in warmer climates, you obviously can't. Well, you could. You'd probably freeze to death up here in New England with that T-shirt only. But
I mean, do we want to show our friends how they can also get the patented KC10HT pink headset?
oh,
That
well,
that
yeah, that was one of
that
your comfort
that
items,
that
wasn't it?
was one of my comfort items.
Okay. All right.
We'll leave my table off because you already covered the table. And my
Okay.
table, I'm not gonna lie, my table's heavy. Okay.
All right.
I didn't initially get that table for ham radio. I got that table for doing glitter tattoos on the side. So
Which is ham radio adjacent, apparently. All right. So this one is the patented pink.
Yeah. So these are this is the headset that I'm actually wearing right now. It's just it's a $30 gaming headset, right? It does not have to be some fancy schmancy $200 Heil Pro 7 headset for doing ham radio, especially if you're just listening. Obviously, with the ham radio, it doesn't work for the mic portion. So what I do is, I just plug in the little, 1/8 jack, into the headphone port of the radio, whatever radio it is, if it's the FT710, the FTDX10, the G90. So I use that to listen, and then I just use the hand mic,
Mhm.
So remember when we're listening to people's voices, it's only within a certain range of frequencies, right? So we don't need these high dynamic range headsets because all you're doing is listening to someone's voice.
Very
So,
true.
this is my pick. They're comfortable. I wear them pretty much all the time, right? Because you guys always see me wearing them on stream. I'm always wearing them in, video chat, voice chat. I'm wearing them for gaming. They're not too heavy. They're comfy and they're pink. And everyone, first thing they say to me every time they go to my QRZ page, they're like, "Oh, I love your pink headset." And now I'm known for the pink
Pink
headset.
headset. Uh-huh. Exactly. You should, you should chase that little branding off there and make a little small OHT stickers stick over that.
Yeah, just make a little tiny mini sticker.
Yeah.
That's why the pink headset is on, it's on a bunch of my stuff now. It's on my my ham radio name tag actually that I got made from my good friend Ron K9 ID at Gold Medal Ideas. It's on my eyeball QSO cards. So
Cool. Yep. It is definitely a great headset. Funny thing is, like, how do you handle that headset when you're activating alone? Do you use it?
yes.
Oh, okay.
When I'm activating alone.
Yeah, some of us do. I mean, like when you go out to a POTA park, are you going just by yourself a lot of times, or no? Are you going with usually other people?
No, I mean, usually I'm with other people. I think
Oh,
you're
okay.
asking, what do you do if you're with other people? Because
No,
usually
no, no.
don't other
More,
people wanna hear your QSOs?
well, no, more so just a safety thing. Like I always have a problem where like I don't know
Oh.
like who's around me when I have something over my ears, so I don't tend to use a headset when I'm alone and operating. But when I'm with other people, yeah, I'm usually trying to block them out so I can actually hear what that comes
Okay, that's funny. So you're like sort of a little bit of the opposite. Yeah, when I'm
Yeah.
with other people, I usually don't use the headset because I figure other people also want to hear the QSO. I'm more likely to use the headset if I'm alone. So,
Mhm.
but when I'm alone, I'm usually just activating in the car, but sometimes I do sit at the picnic table, but you are right, that is, an important safety consideration. I
Yep.
usually, I'm not in like super remote areas. So, and like Bill said, head on a swivel, Handman, Connecticut, situational awareness. So, making sure that you are kind of looking around, paying attention.
Yep.
Don't go out after dark,
Mhm.
and make sure someone always knows where you're going, who you're going to be with, and when you plan to be back.
Yep. Totally. All right. Cool. On the headset, of course, the trademarked headset. Okay. So we good with comfort items? I think we're
Yeah.
gonna skip over your table. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
So let's roll to the next section, which is modes. And so I'll explain what the purpose of what I mean by modes here, just so people have an idea. And so let's flip. We already did. And there we go. All right. So with modes, everybody has a favorite mode they like to operate in, whether it's sideband, CW, FT8, and each of those kind of have their own unique, things that help you make an activation smoother. Like when you do FT8, you use a certain device to want to connect to your radio, or you're doing CW and you want a certain paddle. Or worse, microphones. I mean, obviously, like Shannon mentioned with her headset, the mic doesn't work. So what does she use? I mean, hand mic, an external mic, that type of stuff. So I've got a couple that I wanted to share, which are going to be a little bit out of the norm. But I'm happy to, or we'll say even supporting things, because like maybe you're going on a dual activation or multi op activation. How do you do pass the mic? That type of stuff. So those things. So I'll leave. You got a couple you want to throw in there? Or do you want me to start off while you want to add to your list?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
You can go
All right.
ahead.
Okay. So
this is a very weird category.
it is. It's a little bit out of sorts here. And so why did it switch here on me? So let's go back here. Oh, I see why. There we go.
And
All
actually,
right.
some of this stuff that you have on the list is some stuff that I have too. So
Yep. Okay. So then we'll plow through this list here real quick, because I'm sure it's probably some of it's norm for folks. So the first one, obviously, I want to talk about is under the FT8 category here. And that one for me is a no-brainer for sure. This is the DigiRig. Everybody's talked about it. There's been reviews. I've reviewed, them on my channel. Love the devices. I am a big fan of them. And DigiRig is doing some great stuff over there to simplify sound card, connectivity and being able to do modes like digital and JSA call and the like. So, and beyond that too. I mean, DigiRig is getting into, and it has been in the wild for connectivity HDs, for WinLink, for being able to do APRS, all of that. So it's a very, very handy little device. And for the price, you can't beat it. I mean, $80, you're getting the cables, you're getting, the device, and everything you need to hook up to your radio. And he has got plethora of cables when it comes to ways to connect up to HDs, ways to connect up to most popular radios out there. And you can't go wrong with the DigiRig at all. And so I use it in my kit. I actually have the original one, which I installed in my truck, because the original one is 4 cables. And then when he upgraded this one, it got it down to 2. So it made it a little easier for, slimming down the POTA pack there. I know you obviously use a wagon, so the weight doesn't matter. And so, yeah, DigiRig, a great little device. You said you have one?
Yep. I don't have the DigiRig 891. I know that there are like a few different models actually out there for some different radios. I think the 891 is specific to the 891. I have one that I got to work with the FTM 300. To hook up my my Yaesu 2-meter 70 centimeter radio to my computer, my laptop, so that I could run WinLink,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
VHF WinLink through
Yeah,
that.
he's got a bunch of those cables here that just interface with that device and work right out of the box.
So yeah, I mean, basically any mode that, you use a computer for. So like you said, FT8, JS8 call, WinLink. I use it for APRS also, because even though the FTM 300 does have APRS built in, what running it through the computer allows you to do is you can actually listen on that APRS frequency using a program like APRS IS32, I think it is, or
Mm-hmm.
Pinpoint APRS. Is it will actually map all the stations that it hears on a map for you that you can see on your computer, and you can send out different beacons. You can actually set on APRS IS32, you can set it to like send out a beacon like every hour. So if you want to beacon out like, hey, meet for POTA at this park on this day at this time, and send that out, every hour on the hour for, 24 hours before you meet up for a POTA, and try to, get some local people in your area that might be monitoring APRS.
Yep.
That's a great use case for APRS and a DigiRig.
Yeah, and I don't know if anybody's noticed or this snuck by you. It did me when Mike brought it on another live chat. They're getting into antennas. I haven't had a chance to get my hands on one, but they're diving into the spool world. So they're expanding their footprint in terms of products, and again, supporting a great company for sure. Small business is definitely a plus here. But you can see just going through this list, I'm sure there's a cable for literally every interface that's pretty much out there these days. I think he's got it mostly covered. And I'm sure if there wasn't one, he'd tell you why or how to make it happen. So definitely a great little device and well worth the investment to have in your kit. Okay. So I don't think there's anything much else with the FT8. I was going to get into laptops, but then I'm like, that's always just user preference. And then there's always like Josh, HRCC does the, Jankopotamus and other, like devices. So I was going to leave those off the list for right now. But if we shift gears here and say, let's go to the sideband category under this, I'm thinking this is just, again, stuff that helps you in making sideband contacts, that type of stuff. And so let's pop over to my first one. This has been widely, professed by many people, many hams, many YouTube ham tubers. This is a great little thing. If you own an 891 or most Yaesu products, as long as you run the right pass-through, configuration of these devices, the splitter is always a way to go. So like you got an 891, this works great for that. You got a FTDX10 or a 710. Those are great. These are great to hook those up there. And you just basically have to have a second mic, and you can not have to worry about like dropping the mic or passing a mic, and all of those delays that occur. Now you've got two mics hooked up to one interface, and get the benefit of, using that. And so, yeah, you can't beat these. You can definitely find them, and pretty much every one of them out of the box will work that I've seen on Amazon. So you don't have a splitter, do you?
No, because how else are you gonna like accidentally brush against your POTA partner's hand if you're not passing the mic back and forth?
Apparently, when you had Thanksgiving yesterday, all your food was just everywhere on the plate, right? There was no order and it wasn't separated. That's the way I do POTA. I need some elbow room.
No, see, and you mentioned that too, like elbow room. It's like, what if you don't want elbow room? What if you like want to be snuggled against your POTA partner?
That's a different channel, Shannon. That's the Only Hams channel, which we are not affiliated to. We'll go in a different direction with this one quickly. All good. So yeah, this is a cable. I love it. Great little tool. My next one for sideband, this is sideband stuff. So
Listen,
I've got my FX4.
I bet other Shannon and Sean, I bet they snuggle up against each other.
Yeah, leave it to the chat. We'll go with that. So moving on here. So talking about miniature and close quarters. This is a great little mic. Those have probably seen this on K-Murder, did a little update on this, and I've seen this K6ARK and others have. Obviously, it's his microphone. Great little microphone. I love this little device. I have the kit. I have not, it doesn't require a whole lot of assembly, but I still have to put that together because that was one of my things with my FX4CR. The microphone on it is really small for my big man hands, but I really wanted something that I could just kind of like, be like Secret Service like. This actually fills the bill for that. I don't have to look silly when I'm trying to make a contact via sideband because I can kind of just like, hide it while, I'm sitting there on the beach. So that's why I bought this one. Love it. It is basically unobtainium because they sell out fast when, he creates them there. So I would say, keep an eye on this one. Make sure you got it tagged. And when it does come in, grab one yourself because they're great little mics. They work really, really well. And you can't go wrong with the mini microphone, especially if you're looking for some of that small kind of condensed, or maybe you might be one of those folks that like that 1 pound POTA, kit challenge. This would definitely help that overall. And my last one is,
and I actually,
you got one.
Oh, well, this kit, this K6ARK mini mic kit is the first and only thing that I have ever soldered. So, you're like, it doesn't require that much assembly. It was a lot of assembly for me, who had never assembled anything.
Okay.
But, totally 100% worth it. The reason why I got it is I use it with the Zebit X.
Oh, very cool. Yeah,
Which
good matchup with that.
this does actually have like a built-in mic, but I haven't
Yeah,
used the
it's.
built-in
I
mic.
heard it's not that great.
But I got it from Hamvention to use with that radio. So I highly also recommend the K6 ARK mini mic kit, a good kit if you want to learn how to solder something.
Yep. Yeah, not difficult to solder. It's not like his a smaller, antenna that's like literally magnifying glass style antenna, which is a great little antenna, but at the same time that is extremely hard to solder. I haven't bought that one. It's just the fear of, trying to hold everything. So all right, cool. Next one. All right, so we're talking CW is kind of the last category here. This one I'm not, and I'll confess, I am not a CW guy. I maybe know 4 letters, working towards it on the bucket list, but I love gadgets and I love little things like this. And N6ARA, Ara, he makes a freaking phenomenal little CW key that can't be beat. I am always, this is just literally sitting in my list of things to buy when, a little extra cash comes in because it's not super expensive. It's a great little device, packs away super ultra small. And I know if you head over to, K at MRD's Ham Radio Tube channel, he did basically a full review on this one. And it just made me go, oh, I need to hit the button and buy it. So I haven't done it yet, on the way, but great little paddle key. Again, if you're looking to, make your POTA kits smaller and lighter, or maybe you're into soda, this is definitely one of those things for sure. That would be a great add-on to your kit. All right, Bob, good to see you there in the chat this morning. No problem being there late. Just grab coffee for the rest of us and we'll all be happy.
Yeah, better late than never.
Yep, exactly.
Or as I say, a wizard arrives precisely when he needs to.
Whatever. Available in liveframingham.com/shop. All right. Okay. With that, you got any more you want to add maybe to CW at all, Shannon? I mean, you're doing a little bit of that, right? It's one of your goals.
Yeah, that's also on my POTA bucket list goal. I have my little key here is from that CW Morse. Somebody actually gave this to me for free. One of my good friends,
Oh, cool.
Matt N3AR. And it's a good little straight key. If you're joining Long Island CW Club, they recommend that you actually start learning on a straight key as opposed to a paddle. That way you can kind of get the rhythm of the letters a little bit more.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, we do that when we do CW with the youth or young kids and whatever, letting them learn their name. Straight key is way easier because they can understand the motion versus the left to right kind of thing, which I'm an adult and I still struggle with the whole ambic, kind of setup, especially being a lefty. All right, good. Awesome. So, all right. So that's kind of our, we'll say, mode category. There are plenty more, but, obviously, we would love to see what you guys want to throw in there in the mix. And if you want to, head on over to our Discord, as we have said in the past. And if you're not a part of it, come join it. Again, that link is here in the chat. And head over to N1JUR, Brew and Activate, and let us know what you've got for, items for these categories that you use in your kit that you always recommend and share with others. And, we'd love to hear that because, I'm always interested in new stuff and always ready to learn to, add more things to my kits. Okay. Next one is our logging category, which is the last one for this morning here. And this one is, a great category. It encompasses a lot. So I tried to kind of just let this be a free for all category. I don't know, Shannon, you put a couple in here. These are more, I threw a couple of analog ones in here too, as well for logging. So we'll dive in. You've got a couple here. So we'll go with yours first. And then I'll share a few of mine.
Yeah. So, really my number one thing that I use for logging is I use my ARRL mini logbook, and I have it right here. Unfortunately, my cover is gone. My cover got ripped off. And so this is great for POTA because it is so small and compact. I think it fits 15 contacts on each page, and it has something like 100 pages, something like that. And I would actually say, and I've been saying this for a little while, since I have the POTA wagon and space is no object, right?
Yep.
That I might just upgrade to the full logbook, because I'm filling these books up way too fast. It's
Hmm.
like I go on one activation and I'm filling up 5 pages.
Wow.
So, it's only it's only lasting me, like maybe, 20 activations or something like that.
Mhm.
So, that's my pick for logging. And, the reason why I like having an actual logbook instead of just a regular notebook is I feel it keeps things a little more neat and organized, right? Everybody is saying like, "Oh, I can't read my own handwriting," or whatever it is, but something about the structure of having, the spaces for each individual little piece of information that you need for the log
Mhm.
keeps it neater, right? And then the other thing that keeps it neater um, is, I use propelling pencils or mechanical pencils, depending on which side of the pond you're
You're
on.
on. Yep.
So, having that always sharp point of the propelling pencil also forces you to write more neatly, and you have an eraser. So if you do make a mistake or, whatever it is, you can always erase it because it's in pencil, not pen.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. Good options there. And I've kind of, well, I guess I'll start a couple of my analog pieces first because I think, they kind of go hand in hand with what you have. I'm a big, well, I'm starting to become a bigger EDC kind of guy, but more with the idea around ham radio. And one of the things that I am very much a big fan of, and I actually use this, I can't remember. Maybe not. I thought I was using this back in Boy Scouts, but they're not relatively. They've been around for a little while, but I can't remember if I had one of them when I was in Boy Scouts. This one is the Write and Rain notebooks. I love these little things. I only use it, and I'm not logging with them. I use them primarily for when I'm in a pileup. So I'll have one ready available as a small little pen, and my mind doesn't always will say, remember like 3 or 4 calls. So I'll hear 3 or 4 calls in a pileup. I'll use that little pad to write down, a few of the calls or the few suffixes or prefixes or whatever, or the whole call sign down as I list. And then I'll just go down the whole line of just banging them off one at a time to get them to, get them in the log kind of thing. And so my goal is very much that I wanted something that if I spilled something on it or whatever, or if it was just starting to rain or, conditions changed, I'd have a perfect thing. These things are really cheap. You can get them in a 3-pack. I love them. I keep them everywhere, both in my car as well as in my POTA bags. And I always use them, and they go great because I have a small little I think it's an Olight pen that's also a pencil too as well, and it's what you call a mechanical pencil here in the United States. And so it works wonderfully with that, and so I combine both of those things together, and those sit neatly in the back of my pack, and always are at moment's notice grasp. So well worth the money, well worth having a bunch of those in your your POTA bag or in your vehicle for writing on and doing activations with. So.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to look into how we can get actual formatted ham radio logbook in
Right in
right
the
in
rain.
the rain paper.
Oh, interesting. That might be. I never thought somebody was looking at that. That's actually a good idea. That might be worth exploring for sure. I'm sure there's folks that would love that one. I'm gonna make a little note here.
And yeah, so Bob, he's a member for 3 months.
Woo! Nice job, Bob. Thank you. Appreciate you being a 3-month member. Cool. It's cold here.
And yeah, he said he's wearing his Live Free and Ham hoodie. So
Yes. Very cool. Bob, as always, as you folks might know, over on Live Free and Ham, he is our #1 fan. He even has a shirt made in his honor for sure. So, and we always refer to him at the very end. So if you know, as they say. So cool. All right. So there's the Write and Rain. And I love that idea, Shannon. We should explore that. Maybe we can, brand it as a Brew and Activate kind of thing. We'll never know. But awesome. All right. So my next one I have in the list is Is that the foldable tough shell? Which way do I want to go? That's a battery pack. So the next one I have is this is more technical. And so if you're a non-paper logger like myself, I mean, that means I use a laptop or a tablet because I hate to have to enter things in 2 or 3 times. I always bring either my phone or I have a tablet with me. And if I forget my tablet, I always have my phone available. And I don't know about you, but like my texting is good. But like when it comes to using apps like Polo or Hammers on the phone, the keyboard layouts are a little challenging in terms of being able to quickly and efficiently log things. So I said, screw this. And Grouch kind of led me this way because he had one himself that he set up with his Fire tablet. And I was like, "Oh, dude, I really love that." And it folded down pretty compact. And so this is almost a full-size keyboard with the trackpad. I usually leave the trackpad off just for, convenience, and I don't need it for, most, the devices I'm using, including my phone. But I love to type fast, and I can basically get the contacts entered in very quickly. And so I use that with my phone. It does not, and I don't think this one I'm listed here. Yeah, this is the one that does not have a stand option. There are a few that are out there that do that, but I like to leave my phone lying down or I prop it up on radio or something or a battery or something like that. So that works perfectly fine. But it interfaces fine with my iPhone. I'm sure it would do the same thing with most Android phones too as well. Well worth the money and the convenience of being able to just flop it out. Again, packs away, very simple and easy, and it's just available for me when I need it. And the last one is going to be more, we'll say, logging adjacent but important. I know this kind of doesn't fit in this, but it does. And so I've got a battery pack that I keep in my bag. I love this one. It's a 40,000 amp hour, milliamp hour power bank. It is primarily because, I don't know about you, I use my phone all the time, and if I'm out in the field and say I forget it, well, guess what? Unless I've thrown it in the car to charge it before I've gone to the activation, my battery's pretty low. And so I always have this as a backup to that, and so I can continue on and charge up those devices. And I can't tell you how many times it saved my bacon. Instead of being like, oh, sorry, hold on 5 minutes, I've got to go find a piece of paper to start writing this down, I can just plug it in and I'm off to the races and still plugging away login laptops. So definitely worth the must. And this is a really good price for sure. For this style. I love the fact that it's got the output reading, because that was one of the things with my older packs. I had the little bar ratings and never really could realize how much I had left in my battery pack to charge. And it charges fast USB-C, so you can easily charge this up. And I think I can, from a dead, pretty much almost 10% left, I can get it up to back up to 100% in literally an hour. So it does very fast charging. So it's a great little investment there for your POTA kit.
And it looks like it comes in pink too. So
it does. Yeah. You just know. There we go. Yeah, maybe we might get her into electronic logging someday.
But today is not that day.
No, not today. Sorry, folks. So, all right. Well, that is our complete list here and all the categories. So, it has been an now?
Okay, we're on the
Okay.
screen.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at the feed now. Hopefully, we'll have caught up.
Nobody has said they. Oh wait.
Yeah. There
Now
we go.
Bearded said we lost sound. Are we
Man,
still? Do we have
Okay.
no sound?
Now we're
still?
back up. We should be going up
Okay.
now. Okay. You guys seeing us now? Cool. All right. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know if the audio is back and the scene change has
Okay.
okay,
said
good.
we're
Thank
back.
you. Thanks, Mike. And Ham Radio Huff. All right. So, yeah, to kind of put a bow on this, yeah, these are just some of the categories. And it was fun experience back and forth, as I was saying, to, see which items we kind of brought to the table and see how much crossover we had. And it was good to see that, we have two different, kind of focuses, but, very, shared a lot of common things along the way, in our kits. So I was pretty happy. I don't know. How do you feel about the whole list there, Shannon?
Yeah, I have to agree with the POTA wagon was the MVP.
forever. It's going to be, yeah, the good little red wagon has now become the little red POTA wagon.
Yes,
You're gonna have to make it.
exactly.
Yeah, there we go. So we're just rolling with the shirts here. So yeah, hopefully you guys got something out of this. Again, if you want to head over to the Discord, N1JOR, Brew and Activate, all of the links that we just talked about today for all the products will all be there. Feel free to check those out and let us know if you picked them up, or maybe you've got stuff that you want to share that you've been dying to add to that list. Feel free to obviously post that over there too, because what I'll do is I'll take that information and again add it to our field guide that we're building here. And I have just finally got the wiki portion kind of established and built. I just got to do some fine tuning to it now that I got a server up there and running. So those will be out live, and then people will actually be able to contribute directly to that as a community. So they won't have to just send it via email, and that'll be a great resource. Again, for all hams alike, good, new, old, and, in between. Yeah, the idea is just really make it like a field guide that anybody can reference and get the answers they might need, or share, an experience that, everyone else can get benefit from. So good on
Yeah,
that.
and so I know everybody's kind of wrapping up. They're saying 7-3. Make sure you join the conversation over at the Live Free and Ham Discord, and let us know if you find some really good Black Friday deals. Post them, share them. If you have a Ham Radio Christmas list, let us know what do you want for Christmas? What do you hope Santa brings you? We're going to have a lot of different things coming up. We got Black Friday today. We got Shop Small Saturday. We're going to have Cyber Monday coming up. So there's a lot of shopping related things going on this weekend. So
Yep.
let us know what good deals you find or what you're out there looking for over in the Live Free and Ham Discord.
Totally. Yep. And yeah, we hope your Thanksgiving was wonderful and was low key, because we know how that can be when you get families together. But yeah, hopefully the weekend, like Shannon says, rolls into some good deals and more conversation. And don't forget, get out, play POTA, activate. Simple as that, my friends. Don't sit around and watch us talk about it. Go out and do it yourself.
Yeah, it's not going to get any warmer, guys. It's only going to get colder. So get out there while you can. I need to listen to my own advice.
Yeah, for sure. And as always, make sure you obviously thank you guys for all of the super chats and all of the memberships. I appreciate all of the new members. And for those I might have missed in the list that flew by, welcome. I'll make sure I hit you guys up on the personal chats there. As always, make sure you help support our sponsors. We've got some great sponsors to the channel here. They are always giving us, exclusive access to a lot of their newer stuff and sharing that with you through reviews and a bunch of other stuff, and help with a lot of the giveaways. So, make sure you check out Reliance Antenna, you look at Spool Antenna, and Mad Dog Coils, because those guys, are definitely supporters of the channel and help me out. So with that, just remember, we're here every Friday at 10 a.m. So make sure if you haven't, head over, subscribe to both of our channels, and hit that like and alert notification bell. So when we go live, you come be part of the action. And yeah, outside of that, thank you guys. Until next time, keep those radios on, that PTT down, and POTA on.
All right, POTA on. Bye, guys. 7-3.